Champions League action returns this week, starting on Tuesday, April 9th. There are two games, one of which being Arsenal and Bayern Munich. Now, before we break down that game, let's consider some of the scoring stats from the round of 16, which saw Leg 1 games in the round of 16, the under 2.5 going 7-1, both teams to score going just 3-5. Meanwhile, in Leg 2's, the unders went just 3-5, and both teams to score went 5-3. So clearly we had some higher scoring games in Leg 2 versus Leg 1, something to consider, as maybe we see some tighter games in the first leg here in the quarterfinals. And in those quarterfinals, like I said, it's Arsenal and Bayern Munich, Tuesday, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. In the round of 16, Arsenal had one of those lower scoring leg ones. They just edged past Porto. They did lose 1-0 in Portugal. Then they went on to win the tie in London in leg 2, also by a 1-0 score, and they needed to go to PKs to advance 4-2. For Bayern Munich, they also fell behind in leg 1, losing to Lazio 1-0, another lower scoring leg 1 game. But in leg 2, they coasted to a 3-0 win at home in leg 2. The odds in this game in England, Arsenal favored -138, the draw +300, Bayern Munich +333. You could bet either of these teams to advance through the two games. Arsenal being -200, Bayern Munich +150, over 2.5 -143. The under +110, both teams to score yes, -143, and both teams to score no, +105. Looking at some odds over at Bet365. Head-to-head between these teams, there's been plenty of meetings over time. Let's look at just 2013 and onwards. Bayern Munich is 5-4-1 in that time, but there's been no meetings since 2019. That being an International Champions Cup game in the preseason, and that was a game that Arsenal did win 2-1. But when they last met in the Champions League, it was 2017, and Bayern won 5-1 in both games. Both teams' score has also gone 5-0 in the last 5 of late. Arsenal, they come in, they are first in the EPL, 71 points. They're still battling for that EPL title alongside Liverpool and Man City. The game on the weekend saw them win over Brighton 3-0 on Saturday. Now, that round of 16 loss to Porto is their only defeat in their last 13 games in all competitions, where they are 11-1-1, having drawn 0-0 with Man City as the only other game, one of two non-wins in that time. Those are the only two games where they failed to score as well. Overall, they've scored 39 goals in their past 13 games. They've also kept 4 straight clean sheets and kept a clean sheet in 8 of 13 games. They are the EPL's best defensive team as well. For Bayern Munich, they're second in the Bundesliga with 60 points. They've definitely fallen out of that title race. They're now 16 points back of Leverkusen. They won't be winning the title this year, barring a complete miracle. And now they're even at risk of falling to third place out of second place, as they're now tied with Stuttgart. After going up 2-0 this weekend, two newcomers, Heidenheim, in league play, they allowed 3 second-half goals. They lost 3-2. They're now losers of back-to-back games. They have some big blowout wins of late, 5-2 and 8-1 recently versus the likes of Darmstadt and Mainz. But those are obviously some lower teams in Germany. They also lost at home to rivals Dortmund 2-0, and they even lost to Bochum 3-2 not that long ago. So their form has just been all over the map. Now, if we look for some best bets for Arsenal and Bayern Munich, Arsenal is looking to reach the semifinals for the first time since the 2009-10 season. In all competitions this season, when playing at home at the Emirates, the Gunners are 16-2-2, including winning all 4 home Champions League games this term. Score lines of 4-0, 2-0, 6-0, and 1-0, so they've not even conceded a goal yet. When playing at home in the Champions League, for Bayern, they can never be counted out, especially with Bundesliga Golden Boot leader right now, Harry Kane, in their ranks. He scored 32 goals in the Bundesliga. He's also added 6 more goals in the Champions League. He's also scored 14 goals in 19 career games against Arsenal, so he could be a great prop bet, as he's been known to cause Arsenal all kinds of problems. Harry Kane to score a goal, certainly a possible bet in this game. Bayern lost to Lazio away in round 1, leg 1 of the last round. Certainly a weaker side than Arsenal. And they've also conceded a goal in 11 of their past 12 games, and that's mostly coming to a litany of Bundesliga teams, and many of which are certainly lower ranked, lower caliber teams than Arsenal. That's just not good enough for a team of Bayern's stature. Arsenal's Bukayo Saka wasn't able to make it through the full game this weekend, but should be expected to play. But Bayern also have a whole list of injuries to be worried about here. They have Manuel Neuer, Kingsley Coman, Leroy Sané, Nusser Mazraoui, Alexander Pavlovic, and all those players were out against Heidenheim on the weekend. I think there's lots of bets you can consider here, depending how you want to look at it. Could be a Harry Kane, simply as Harry Kane scoring a goal. Could be Arsenal to score at least 2 goals. I mean, if Heidenheim can get 3 against Bayern, certainly Arsenal can. Both teams to score as well. Can't see Arsenal not scoring at home, and possibly if you think Kane's going to get on the score sheet, could be both teams to score as well. Or simply, let's just go for an Arsenal win and -138 odds for the best bet in Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. How do you see this game going? Can Bayern pull the upset on the road? Share your bets down there in the comments and follow the channel for more Champions League picks this week.